Welcome back to another episode of my Friday the 13th The Game series. This is your source for all F13 news, updates, and more. We finally have official gameplay. A 4-minute F13 gameplay was dropped during the Gun Media special stream event with Twitch, and I'm here to break it down for you guys. I was invited to check out the gameplay during E3 with Gun Media, explaining the mechanics and just grabbing as much info as I can. Before we get into the breakdown, I do want to say thank you to everyone that has been watching all of my F13 videos and clicking on the like button. So we start off with Jason spawning in the cemetery and hearing his mother, Pamela Voorhees, mentions find him, bring them to mommy. When you play as Jason, you will be hearing his mother throughout the match. A cool feature in this area are the tombstones. Whoever purchased the tombstones in the Kickstarter will have their names on it in the game. Now let's pay attention to the hub abilities on the bottom right. Jason has abilities or powers that can help him throughout the match. Keep in mind that Gun Media has boosted all of his abilities at max to show off his playstyle. In order for you to use his abilities more frequently during the match, you have to build fear and kill. There is a cooldown for each abilities, so you have to use it wisely, and some abilities cooldowns are longer than others. With the button layouts being shown here, A is Sense, B is Morph, X is Shift, and Y is Rage. Notice the pulse that was triggered on the right. Jason has a passive ability to hear noises, whether it is a consular running in the woods or someone is fixing a car. It doesn't let you know how many consulars are around the area or what they're doing. As you can see, Jason is using his morph, which allows him to teleport. He teleports to the closest cabin and finds a consular standing on her own. He uses shift, which is a short range morph. Jason can orient himself, allowing him to face any direction he desires. He shifts right next to a consular and grabs her by the neck, showing another Jason abilities in which he can grab a consular at close range. The red highlight is indicating that he could perform a special execution on the rock. There is over 40 environmental kills, so the more Jason is killing with an execution, the more fear he puts on the consulars and his abilities will generate faster. In this section, Jason sees a pulse in the cabin, so he lights the cabin with Sense. If the consular has fear and is hiding in the cabin, using Sense will highlight the cabin red. It doesn't give specific on how many consulars are in there or where they are hiding. The two counselors notices Jason, and so they start running towards the back. Jason uses morph to teleport behind the cabin to catch the counselor off guard. He manages to grab the athletic girl and uses his special execution to build up his cooldown. The other counselor's fear that's running is at an all-time high at this point since he witnessed the execution. The more a counselor is seeing the death of a counselor or Jason is exposing himself, the fear will trigger stronger. Once you're in full fear mode, Jason can use his sense and can clearly see you. There is no meter bar to show your fear, but instead, you can hear fear by noticing the counselor's reaction. The heavy breathing, the wimping, voice shaking, the fumbling, and the body shaking is a prime example when fear is triggered. This next scene we're checking out the consular, the preppy guy. Running in the woods is a risky situation, so the best way to keep your fear down is to follow the path and stay in the light. However, staying in the light exposes you more, which allows Jason to find you faster. As I said, you are easier to spot running on a path and using a flashlight. In this situation, Jason grabs the counselor by the neck and plans to use his environmental execution, but as you can see here, the break-free meter shows up and the counselor managed to escape. When you escape, you stun Jason for a few seconds, which gives the counselor a head start. Jason starts chasing after him, and in doing so, he uses sense to detect where he is going. Remember, the longer you wait for the sense to cool down, the accurate it becomes. Sense cannot go across the entire map, and as soon as the consular runs into the cabin, Jason's sense highlight the cabin, letting him know that the fear is in the cabin. The counselor locks the front door and heads straight to the back to turn on the radio. The radio blocks any sound the counselor is making in the cabin, so this scene is showing a playstyle that could be effective against Jason. The counselor opens a window to give the illusion that he went out of it. The counselor then decides to hide under the bed. Once you're under the bed, it goes into first person mode. But the more you stick your head out of the bed, the more you're exposing yourself and Jason will be able to spot you. Jason shows up and triggers the famous sound from the movies because the counselor sees him through the window. Fear is now building up, and so the counselor will start to freak out. Jason uses rage to break down the door and quickly destroys the radio since it was blocking his passive. Jason then turns to head out, but since the counselor fear is building up, he either hears his whimpering or shaking under the bed. Now, one of the coolest features Jason has is the ability to independently move his head. You can actually move Jason's head to look at the counselors to build fear. As you can see here, the player turns Jason's head towards the bed, and once the counselor sees that, the fear rises up, exposing himself in the worst situation. Jason takes the opportunity and mauls him to death. Now let's go over a few mechanics and playstyle that is in Friday the 13th the game. Some counselors have high stealth. Rage can be used to go through walls, smash right through barricades. You gain rage by being more psychologically scary. Some walls in the cabin can be breakable for Jason. If it's highlighted, he can break through, surprising the counselors with rage. Jason can use his weapon to stab doors, closets, and behind walls. However, if there is no counselor hiding behind any of this, Jason's weapon will get stuck and will have to take his time pulling it out, giving the counselors an advantage to run away. With that being said, Jason can kill you if you get stabbed if you're up on a wall, inside a closet, or under the bed. So counselor can actually swim in a lake and Jason can go underwater and kill you whether you're swimming or building the boat or if you're on the boat trying to escape. Counselor can hear Jason coming in movements. Jock has the highest strength to get out. Counselors can pick up weapons to try to fight off Jason. Jason Mask can actually come off by knocking him out. Silence is more terrifying. And stamina plays an important role. If you are too scared, you can trip and fall. Now you all are wondering, can you kill Jason? You can take Jason down, but it's next to impossible. Let's just say that taking down Jason is like hitting the lottery. You have to strategize everything perfectly to take him down. The quote that I got from Gun Media is, whenever plans you make before jumping to a match, it's all gonna go down the drain. Trying to kill Jason is not recommended and your job is to survive. You are not safe until you have reached the final destination. Thank you everyone for watching the breakdown. This was a blast to make, and make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more F13 news. So what did you guys think of the new F13 gameplay? Give me your thoughts and what would you like to see in the game. Until next time, stay out of the woods, because you may never know when Jason will show up.